my name is Cassie. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be my June wrap-up, and I did not read that much in June. I kind of got into a bit of a slump towards the beginning, mid part of the month, so did not read as much as I would have liked to have read. So that being said, let's go ahead and just get into it. So first book was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I finally, I did read this before I started watching the show. I'm part of Mel's Patreon, and we started watching the show I think 2 weekends ago. This will be our third weekend coming up, but I read it before then. I think it was I finished it either the day before or the night of, right before we started watching it. But anyway, I gave it 3 stars, and there's a reason for that. And kind of most of it, I want to say it's almost spoilery, and so I don't want to really say why I gave it the 3 stars that I gave it, because I don't want to spoil anything. One thing I can say is I thought it was a little long for the whole thing. Did not like the ending. I understood the ending, I didn't like the ending. And then I have so many questions about some of the things towards the end that are just not, they're unanswered, and they will probably remain unanswered. Amanda comes to mind. That is a question. And if you read the book, you will understand my question, hopefully, with that person. But yeah, so 3 stars. Pretty good, but yeah. Alright, next book was The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. So for this one, I wanna say, okay, I gave it 4 stars. Hey, Misha, don't bark. But this one, I felt like it was kind of a forced thing going on. She is a sports agent, and her boss gives her sends her an email and says that you're going to be officially somebody's sports agent, and it's going to be for this football player. And the football player is her ex from college. And so to me, that's a conflict of interest of some sort. And she knew that it was going to be an issue in the beginning of the book. In the very beginning of the book, she knew it was going to be an issue. She's, in her head. And yet she doesn't tell anybody. And so I'm like, why? But anyway, there was, it was interesting. It wasn't the the typical layout of a romance, contemporary romance, which I kind of liked. So 4 stars, not 5 stars, but 4 stars. Okay, so the next book is Cupid and the Family by John Mars. And this is a little bit where my slump kind of starts. So I was debating between this John Mars book and I think The One by John Mars. But the synopsis on this one sounded a bit more interesting. Little did I know that it was going to be a line crossed. I I could not get into this book, but like on a surface level, was it interesting? Yes. Did I see any of the twists? I did not. If it didn't cross that line for me, it probably would have been closer to a 5-star. But I know there's a lot of sick people in the world, you know, and if it was apocalyptic or sickness, disease, something like that, you know, it wouldn't bother me so much. But the fact that it was murder does bother me, and it was on such a high level that it was over the line for me. So trying to look at it as unbiased as possible, I gave it a 3-star for me, because it wasn't bad per se, it's just not for me. I'm gonna have to see about reading. Well, I mean, I read the synopsis and I did not think it was gonna go the way that it did, like, at all. So I don't know. Other people might like this one, but I did. No, not for me. And then the book that put me in a slump. How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. So you know, when I read the synopsis, it sounded really cool. It sounded like a video game type situation mixed with a Groundhog Day type situation. And that sounded interesting. It did. And then I started reading it. And there are so many things about this book that just the writing style, the main character, like the way that sex is talked about, the way that they describe the main character and her sexuality, just in the little bit that I read. I think it was like maybe 70 pages or so, I want to say, with about 20-something%, maybe somewhere around there. And I could not bring myself to read it anymore. This is my first, nobody talked me into it. I DNF'd this book, and I have no plans of picking it up again. And I'm honestly thinking about unhauling this book because I disliked it that much. I know that there are people out there that like it. You know, totally fine. Totally fine. It just rubbed me the wrong way in a lot of ways. Yeah, so DNF this book, and I don't plan to ever pick it up again. So after that disturbing book that kind of put me off, and then the book How to Become a Dark Lord really put me off, I attempted to read Finlay Donovan Knocks Him Dead, but I could not read it. I think I got like maybe 30% into it, and that is still where I'm at, is at 30% into it. But I think it was this past week, last weekend, I think I got these for my friend's son, because he is reading now, and I know that he at the moment is reading picture books, So I got 2 books, and the reason I got this one was because when I got a kid's book, it was only $9.99 instead of full price. And that is Dragons Are the Worst by Alex Willen. And it's so adorable, isn't it? But you know, I read this. It was cute. It was adorable. It's about a little goblin. And he's like, everybody thinks that, you know, dragons are just so scary, but they really should be afraid of goblins. And it's him going over why goblins are scary and not dragons. It's adorable. So I read that first because, I mean, it's a little picture book. It's cute. It's adorable. And then my friend's son is into scary things. He likes to watch YouTube videos of oh, what is that? Monsters. It has something to do with the Freddy's, but it's not. It's Huggy Wuggies or something like that. It's the main character, Huggy Wuggies. He likes watching people play through that game and a couple other games are kind of similar to it, and he likes Halloween and everything. And so since he's getting into reading, I was like, a good little kids series that he could get into is Goosebumps. So I got him Goosebumps Night of the Living Dummy by R.L. Stine. This guy. And of course I read it. It was nostalgia. I had to read it. I used to love Goosebumps when I was younger. And I did not remember Mr. Wood. How could I not remember Mr. Wood? I remember Slappy, but I did not remember Mr. Wood. Shame on me. But obviously, you know, obviously both of these were 5-star. Short, simple, cute in the dragon's case, and then, you know, nostalgia. Even after all this time, I still liked it. Can't believe I forgot about Mr. Wood. It's crazy. But anyway. So, not counting the Dragons Are the Worst or the Goosebumps book, and not counting the partial read of How to Become a Dark Lord or Finley Donovan Knocks Them Dead, or whatever that title is. I only read 3 books in their entirety this month. 1,081 pages with an average rating of 3.3 and average pages of 360. 1 sci-fi, 1 mystery, 1 romance. It's the breakdown. So it's kind of a sad little month, but hopefully July will be better. After reading Dragons Are the Worst and Goosebumps, you know, I'm feeling like I might be able to get into another book. Hopefully. It is July 5th. And I haven't read anything yet this month, but I still have time. And I've got a lot of books that I really want to read, and I think most of them are mystery thriller books, to be honest, which is kind of weird because usually that's not my thing. But that's kind of the books that I really want to read right now are those. So I guess we're just gonna see what happens. So that is my wrap up for June. If you like this video, hit like. If you would like to see more by me, hit subscribe. Until next time, bye.